Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another live. It seems to be my regular thing at the moment. I went live, what were we on Saturday? I went live Thursday, if I remember rightly. I jumped on Simo's last night for a little bit and I've decided to go live now. Obviously, there's no one watching. I can't imagine anything actually happens until about 2 minutes in. That is what I'm thinking. But I've had a couple of scoops so far. Obviously, no one's in at the moment. So it's already, yes, one person's coming. One person's coming. Feel free to comment. Feel free to comment. I was doing a lot of waffling before this one person jumped in. So feel free to comment. Let me know who you are. And maybe I'll start some boring conversation, something like that. But whoever you are watching, thanks for popping in. Baz is having a beer. He's on the fruit coals from the Perfect Draft Black. It's got to be said. Somebody did tell me that the recommended temp is 4 to 6 degrees, but obviously the PD Black just chills to 3, but it's rather enjoyable anyway. I've got some silly advert that has popped up. I don't know what anyone is doing really tonight. I've not really looked to see if anyone else is live. I'm not one of these that, that tries to invade people's lives or anything. It's just completely random. Pardon me. So so it's, like I said, completely random. I don't really know when I'm ever going to do anything. But yeah, I thought I'd do one. So Pompey Jim has come in. Hello, mate. I must be the one person. Well, it's saying 2 now. So whether it's saying I'm live in this stream and you are, I don't know. But yeah, you're the only one in here. But thanks for popping in. Jim, hope you're well, mate. Are you participating in a beverage this evening? Or have you just decided, oh, look at that. Oh, Bazza's on the old idiot. Let's see what he's got to say, kind of jump in. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to jump on. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird thing at the moment. But I just tend to sort of start up a live. There's things going on in the household, or have been for a few weeks. So I tend to start doing a few more lives and having a bit more spare time. But I appreciate you all jumping on. There we are. Jamie's in. Hey up, pal. How's it going? Now, I know Jamie won't be very happy, obviously, after today, after the Blades losing to Swansea. Judging by the stats I saw, I did try watching it, but shall we say Sky was playing up a little bit. I couldn't get to stream the games like I normally do. They were shocking. Absolutely shocking. Now, I still believe that Sheffield United will turn that corner, and I do believe they still have good players and they still have a good team. But at the moment, they are looking absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Chris the Butcher is in. I'm the other. So that's a really weird threesome. What, the Butcher, Pompey Jim, and me? Is that a weird one, is it? I don't know. But nice to have you on, Chris. Hope you're doing well, pal. Hope you're doing well. I remembered Lou's name today. Well done, Bazza. See, I'm not completely stupid all the time. But I do have my moments. Jamie, same old United again. Do you know what? I don't know. I think we have pretty much a pretty solid team. We've got most of the players we had last year. Yes, we have lost a couple. Obviously, our blaster is out, but then he was out most of last season. Suter must have gone back to Leicester, I'm guessing. We've sold Vinny Souza and we sold Anel. Obviously, they're going to be big misses, but we've got a lot of other players that have come into the side that have played for the first team before. And also, I'm quite impressed with a couple of the other ones. I think there was 2 players we signed, weren't there, last year, based on AI sort of stats. And they've come in a couple of times. I don't think they ever played last season, as far as I'm aware, and actually look quite good, I think. The one does, I can't think what he played today. I can't remember him. Can't remember his name, Samares or something, I think it was. But yeah, I think we'll come good. But Saint needs to change. I'm always confident, but it really wouldn't surprise me if Sellers was gone by Christmas. Really wouldn't surprise me. Let me go back to that one. Just about to crack open a Paulaner Oktoberfest. 42 quid for 20 bottles. Majestic wine. That is a bargain. That is a bargain. £2, what, 10p? That would work out, something like that. Bargain. Get this manager out before we go to League One. Give him time. You know, I'm not one for wanting to get rid of managers. I think, as I said last night on Simo's live, or on my own live, I can't even fucking remember now. But as I said, you know, he's a good manager, Chris Wilder. He knows what to do. And I don't like to see managers go, but I can see why they got rid of him. It was one of them. I think, he's had his chances. He pulled them back into positions to win the league or even come second, and he didn't do it. So, yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he ended up coming back. Oldham lost. Oh, poor old Oldham. Don't worry, Chris, mate. Sheffield United lost to bloody Bristol City. We actually played all right, I think, when you look at the stats. We lost to Bristol City. We lost to Birmingham in the week, which was absolutely shocking. And then I think today, I don't think we look much better today. Looking really poor. I think there's promise there in our team, though. But nobody's ever happy when they lose, are they? It's like another bloody year. Really, it is, as Jamie said, same old, same old. But we try and be positive. Hi, Chris. Hope you and the family are well, pal. And Chris has said, I'm good, thanks, Jamie. And Jamie has said, that's great to hear. Yeah, it's good to hear, mate. Hope things are all tickety-boo and all good for you, pal. Been a while since I watched your channel, actually, to be honest. It's been a while since I watched anyone's channel. I'm trying to catch up on stuff myself and doing other stuff. It's just a little bit mental at the moment. We got a new player in 8 million. Can't remember where he's from. Right, okay. Is he a defender? Got him in today. I think that's our biggest problem, defence. Midfield, I would probably, personally, I like Sidney Peck. I think he's a decent player. He's maybe getting up to speed. I think Gus Harmer and Callum O'Hare maybe need to play in midfield again together or play in the same team together. Because when they were at Coventry, they clicked. And even at times, even though Callum O'Hare was more of a sub half the time, they seemed to have that little bit of a bit of a thing together. So I think if you're not going to replace Sousa, and it would probably be hard to replace him with the money we got for him, I think you've maybe got to get a couple of players that work well together, if I'm honest. Yeah, it is defender. Okay. Let me just put that on. Paul Greenwood just got home from work and you're live, and City won and PGAT is a sausage wanting Wolves win. Oh dear. Well, you know what PJT is like, Apparently they done all right today. They were on about Burnley, they were on about last season. Burnley hardly ever conceded a goal, but it's a different level, that Premier League. It really is. And apparently Richarlison, it's a blinder. I didn't see it, but apparently it's contention for goal of the season already, apparently. But we shall see. Jamie's saying, all right, Paul. And Paul is saying, all right, Jamie lad, how are you? What you all drinking? Anyway, what you all drinking? I said I did start talking before the live started. So I don't know. I can't even remember if I've repeated myself. I don't know. But I'm on the fruit Kolsch. Jamie's getting called a sausage. Paul, you calling me a sausage? I want Wolves win. to be honest, Jamie, I don't care who wins. When it's in the Premier League, it don't concern me. I know a few Wolves fans though, so I'd like to see them lose. To be honest, I'd rather Wolves lose. No, you're not a sausage, Jamie. Just Paul Jonte, the Spursy fraud. Yeah. Give it time. Once Spurs lose about 3 games, he'll start, disappearing over to Leyton Orient and trying to get advertising boards around the outside with Rate My Beer and Hackney Church Brew Co. and Dodgy Dust Caps and what have you. He may even advertise Sean as the hottest food eater on YouTube. I don't know. Paul is on Lowenbrow he was on Lowenbrow on PD last night before Kolsch goes in. Good man. Lowenbrow, you can't go wrong with that. It's a great beer along with Spaten. The Kolsch is nice. I'm not going to say it's as good as Spaten or Lowenbrow. It has something about it, and it is really good, and there's nothing nasty. But for me, I think I'd always go back to sort of Lowenbrow and Spaten. It's a decent drop. I've had a few today. I'll be honest with you. I did work today. Was up bright and early. I was on the job at 7 o'clock. And basically painted the front of an outside of a house with a 2-inch brush. 2-inch brush. You may be thinking, what the hell are you doing that with a 2-inch brush for? And it was rather a large front. Basically pebble dashed, and the only way to get any paint in there is using a slightly short bristled brush. And that was pretty much the only sort of size I had sort of handy. Otherwise, they're all brand new brushes, a lot of them. And it never seems to quite work the same. But yeah, it was doing that. I just hammered it. I got there early because I didn't know how long it was going to take. And I could have stopped. So I just thought, no, just keep going. Keep going. See how long it takes. And that'll give you more of an idea where we are on the other properties, because there's actually 3 joined. So I've got to do 2 because the one bloke owns them. And the third one, somebody come up to me and said, can you come and give us a price? So I'll be doing the 3rd place next year. So it's actually given me a little bit of an idea if I've actually priced it right, rather than leaving myself short. I think I'll be all right, to be honest. I think I'll be all right. I sort of added an extra day on just in case. So I may well go into that extra day, but I don't think I'm going to be out of pocket. Let's put it that way. San Miguel tonight. Got them from B&M, $11.99 for 18 bottles. Are they the UK brewed ones, are they? They sort of like 4.8 or 4.6, what it is now. I'm guessing they would be. But if you enjoy them, it don't matter. It don't matter. Paul Greenwood's in. Yeah, the staples on the machine. My fruit Kolsch not arrived yet. Oh, right. It's arriving Monday. Okay. Yeah, Lowenbrow Spaten are great. I enjoyed the Hackerbeck, if I'm honest. Standard Becks. I enjoyed it a few years ago. I don't think it's a bad beer, but I just don't think it's a great beer these days. I'm trying to think what other German lagers they got. They got the Keller beer if you wanted to go call that a lager, which it kind of is, but it's a very different lager. But yes, Spaten and Lowenbrow, I think, are the main ones for me, especially the Oktoberfest ones as well. I was up at 4:30 this morning dropping my girlfriend off at work. What's she on? Is she on the post or something? But fair dues to you. Hey, Baz, it's been a while since I visited your channel. Hope you're well. Yes, and you, Giuseppe. I won't hold it against you that you love Paul John Tame. But thanks for popping in. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying a beer as well. No, not the UK ones. Them 5% VAT. Okay. You can't be on again. Yes, Simon, I'm on again. I'm a sad, lonely man these days, aren't I? So I need to do a few things, and I'm sitting here. No one's in the house, so I just think, you know what? I've had my tea. Well, as I said, went to work, finished work, had a pint on the way home, or two, shall we say. Come home, done a little bit of dog sitting, sorted some tea out for myself, had a couple of pints at home, I've had a bath and everything, I've chilled out. I've got time to kill. So I just thought, I shall come on alive. I've got nothing else to do. So why not? You may well all be fed up of me soon. You'll be going, oh, fucking hell, he's live again. Not again. How can he be live again? We don't see him for... I'm like the bus, aren't I? I'm like a bus. You know what I mean? You don't see one for God knows how long. Then all of a sudden, 7 turned up. And that's like Baz going live. She works in the NHS. Oh, good man. Good man. I expect she's very busy then. And Giuseppe. No beer for me, 5 a.m. Sunday morning. Early start then, Giuseppe. Never a good thing, but understand sometimes things either work or life just gets in the way. And yes, like a bus. You don't see one for months. Certainly where I live, you don't see one for months, and all of a sudden 6 turn up. The 12:20, the 12:45, the 1:15, and the 1:30, and all the other ones just after that. It's mental. You do roofing for a living. All fair dues. I bet you have trouble with the old weather then. Obviously, your job is constantly outside. Do you keep busy? Is it a case of just like putting up with it? I suppose you have to get like your waterproofs on and just if a roof is bare, it needs to be covered up, doesn't it? Whereas mine, it's a little bit harder. I had a couple of moments today, it's got to be said, that I was there painting this wall, like I said, a 2-inch brush, trying to scrub it into this house that I'd literally chipped away and taken 90% of the paint off because it was so shot. So I spent 3 days doing 2 houses, chipping away at this paint on a Pebble Dash place. And then I start painting today, and within about half an hour or an hour, I'm thinking, oh shit, it's like starting to rain. I thought, no, my luck is going to piss down. What paint I've put on is just going to wash off. But thankfully, it never got to that. So, yeah, so it would have all gone off. But by the time I'd literally finished doing the front, the only bit that was wet was probably the very last bit. The rest of it was bone dry. And I suppose if I'd wanted to be really generous, I didn't have a break. I started early. I probably ended up finishing a couple of hours early. I suppose if I'd wanted to be really energetic, I could have made a start on the house next door and done something else. But to be honest, when you're like that with a 2-inch brush all day, I was like, sod that. I am not doing any more. I've had enough. I'm going for a pint. Not the attitude to have, maybe, but I do keep in business, so I can't be doing too bad. Anyway, let's catch up on some of these comments. Vanessa Kitty is in. Welcome back, Vanessa. Nice for you to jump on. Much appreciated. Vanessa's in the house, Baz. Yes, I have noticed. Vanessa the Kitty. Is the weather okay? Yeah, in the summer it's a killer on. Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, I suppose for you, wet or dry, I don't know how much difference it makes to you whether it's wet or not. Obviously, heat wise and that, when it's summer and it's really hot, it must be a bit of a pain in the ass. But I'm kind of guessing if it's raining to a certain extent, you have to go and do these jobs or make sure that it's all Sorted. Vanessa is saying hi to Red Devil, Simon. I learned in Texas in summer that sneakers on a roof were a very bad idea. Okay. I'm guessing sneakers, you mean trainers by them. And I'm guessing because it was so hot, they probably melted to the roof. That is what I'm thinking. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Steamy hot here in Connecticut right now. We have maybe a couple of weeks before the fall. Before the fall, our fill-ins. Am I reading that wrong? I don't know. I don't quite get that last little bit. So I'm guessing you've probably got a couple of weeks before sort of like autumn time. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Yes, my soul's melted as I walked on a bundle. Yeah, I can imagine. I've been to, like, Texas ain't far, I don't think. I could be totally wrong here. It's not far from Vegas, is it? Or am I wrong? Been to Vegas. It was red hot there, like. But Texas, yeah. If the bad weather, if you're coming down fast or so, never, yeah. Is it me or everyone's? Is it me or is it everyone's typing? Or I'm just not reading them right? Yeah, fall weather incoming. Okay, yeah. Yes, autumn weather soon. I hope. Yeah. So I'm not completely stupid. Great money though. That's it, Jamie. At the end of the day, you got to work, haven't you? And if sometimes you got to do some real shit stuff, haven't you, or whatever, or hard work, hard graft to earn good money. And we all need money, don't we? At the end of the day, much as people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter," no, but it doesn't bloody help, doesn't it? The Typomatic is strong in my errors today. Don't worry about it, Vanessa. Like I said, it could be you. It could just be me reading it completely and not really getting through to my head. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit of a dopey bugger. No, we are just watching your new relationship blooming. Which one? Which one? The one with the dog, is it, Mon? Is it that one that you're watching? Yeah, it's a lovely little dog. If you're not on about that, the dog that she's got is a lovely little dog, but it's not my dog, so it won't be coming with me. 1,700 a month after taxes. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad. I not know. You not know what? I have no relationship blooming apart from that dog, I think. Right, I'll put you on TV. What, BBC One? BBC One, Channel 4. Dating TV or something. You're not going to do that here. Don't share it on dating TV, I think. Don't be daft, Simon. So, yeah, I mean, what time is it now? Only been on, 23 minutes. We've got 5 people in. I ain't got a clue what time it is. 20 past 8. Yeah. It pays the bills, and I can go for a pint some days. Hang on, let me just ignore that one. Sorry, Tommy. Lots of comments coming in. Well, that's it, isn't it? At the end of the day, you've got to get through life. If you can have a few pints, pays the bills, that's the most important thing. Anything extra after that is a bonus. Absolutely. Tommy McAllister, evening, Bazza. Hope you're well, bud. Yes, I'm not bad, pal. I've had a couple of pints. It's got to be said. Hope you're well. What are you drinking? If you are drinking, or if you just popped on just to be a bit of a nosy bugger, as most people do, because why wouldn't you? Still only 3 channels in Ellesmere. Which ones? Is it still BBC One, BBC Two, ITV? Or have you lost the signal to some of them? Yeah, you don't want a 75-inch Baz on your TV. I'll tell you, you definitely. I look big enough anyway. Just here, I'm looking at I'm on the laptop, and it's probably 6 inches by 4 or something. I look a big fat sod there. You don't want a 75-inch Baz on your TV. That's scary. That is proper scary. Simo subs, evening Gramps. How are you, pal? Hope you're well, Mon. I didn't know if you were live or anything tonight. To be honest, I just completely random. I've had my tea and I'm settled, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go live again. Probably annoyed the shit out of everyone. Man City won, didn't they? Simo? No. Obviously, PJT was wanting Wolves. I know you were playing Wolves, didn't you? Or, as far as I'm aware. Please, no BBC One TV license going up. Yeah, that's something we all need anyway, isn't it? They're cheeky little so-and-sos. And I read somewhere that, they used to have like the old TV detector vans. Nobody ever got prosecuted for not having a TV license because of them. So it was all like scaremongering, that, wasn't it? Jamie said, all right, Simo. Tommy, sorry, Vanessa, I'll put you up first. I do apologize. Tommy had 8 cans of the Brewdog Black Heart Stout, mate. Oh, good man. Good man. You're making me look sober then, possibly, unless you can drink about 30 pints. And then, mind you, 8 cans, if you can drink 10 pints, you'll well and truly outdo me. So I would guess that you're mildly tiddly, possibly. If you are, enjoy it. It doesn't matter, does it? I got my phone going off here. What the hell's going on here? Simon Smith, Red Devil sent me a photo, actually, so I bet he's watching me on the bloody thing. Vanessa, my brother and I want to do a 100-inch projection screen on the patio. Cool as. Trust me, I've always loved that kind of cinema feel. But you definitely, if you get 100-inch projection screen, you definitely can't be watching me on that. I got too many imperfections to be looking at me on the big screen. I'm not vain, but Oh my God, he's there. He's there. He's watching me. Today's haul. Lots of Guinness and stuff. Oh no, he's watching Aston Villa in the background. I thought he was watching me on the bloody TV or something then. Old Red Devil. But he's picked a load of Guinness stuff up, which is quite cool. Let's crack on with the comments. Silly Yawns in. Have somebody here in Play This American January or February. Have somebody here. Right. Okay. Has anyone been to Play Dallas Americas in January or February? I haven't, Yawn, or Silly Yawn, or however you want to say it. So anyone in the comments, if you've been to Tenerife, to that part, I'm guessing, in January or February. I'm guessing he wants to know what it is like. I haven't. I think I went about June, July time, many years ago when I was a lot younger. I found the channel through other beer channels, I think. I follow several. Good on you. Much appreciated as well. But I'm sure there's better channels that you'd rather put on a big screen rather than me. Brewdog Black Stout. I've not seen those, but we'll check out. Yeah, to be honest, Black Heart Stout. It's a decent drop. It's a decent drop. And I know you're in America, so I'd be amazed if you could not pick that up somewhere. I would be rather surprised, to be honest. I'm part of the cult here now, so I can keep my mind going in a positive way. Good man. Good man. We have bench swings around the fire pit, the screen pulled down between 2 posts out of the bench. Oh, quality. That sounds like my kind of garden. That really does. I mean, at the moment, my garden, or our garden, or the garden, however you want to put it, is a little bit overgrown. It's a little bit wild, but the seating area is lovely. the plan was to keep on top of it and what have you. And it's really nice out there when it's nice and it's all uncovered and the sun's out. It's great. We haven't got room for a 100-inch screen, obviously, but but I do envy you. That's proper cool. Proper cool. I've not been, but I've been to all 5 of our 50 states, all but 5 of the 50 states in the USA. Cool. Fair dues. America's so big, isn't it? You almost don't need to leave America, because I kind of get the impression America, you got all the different states and they're all very sort of different. They've all got their own sort of identity. So I kind of guess that if you go somewhere in America, if you go into different states, it almost is like a holiday, because you are getting like different people, different cultures, different, just everything is different to where you would be. That's the impression I get. I've never gone on holiday that time of year. I have been to Tenerife. Yeah, no, I've never been to Tenerife that time of year. I've been away, obviously, around that time. Supposed to be going to Egypt in January. God knows what's happening with that. 90% of it is paid off. So yeah, that's gonna be something interesting. We shall see. Keep your eyes peeled to see what happens with that holiday. God knows what's going to happen. America is huge. Yes, it is. 5 hours, I believe. A flight from Vegas to New York is 5 hours. Whereas 5 hours from the UK, you're pretty much getting to Greece or Turkey, aren't you? So it goes to show how big America is. And it's really weird as well, because I've been to America. You fly across America and there's no sort of sea or anything, whereas like anyone that leaves the UK, it's always sea. Wherever you go, you tend to get that big patch of sea in the middle, but when you fly across America, it's just all land beneath you. But it's cool. I liked America. It's got to be said, I did like it. Sleon, I have been to New York and New Jersey in 2001 when visiting my Norwegian aunt and American uncle and 3 cousins. Never been to New York myself or New Jersey. I know New Jersey is sort of like part of New York, isn't it? It's a little island, isn't it? Never fancied New York, if I'm honest. But my ex has been there and she said I'd love it because I got loads of craft breweries. So, but that isn't going to happen anytime soon, me going with her to there. So that might have to be on a bucket list at some point. We'll have to see. Pompey Jim, been to play at Las Americas in December before. Still hot and busy. I expect January is no different. Yeah, I mean, anywhere with the Canary Islands, I think, because it's sort of like on the African coastline, you're probably going to have half decent weather, sort of like January, February. It's going to be hotter than most places, I would imagine, that time of year. I got stationed in Alaska and arrived there October 31st, 1982. Spent 5 years stationed up there. Alaska. See, you only got to worry, yawn. Alaska, I would imagine, would be extremely cold. I've watched some of them silly programs. I don't know. Alaskan bush people and that. Vanessa, is Alaskan bush people, is that anything like Alaska is? Or is it like a big load of made up kind of rubbish? I don't know. Or I wouldn't say made up rubbish, but is it kind of glamorized for TV, shall we say? Let's put it that way. Yawn is saying thanks for the info to Pompey GM. Cool. I lived in the Bronx, New York City for 2 years after my first enlistment was up. Worked for the Pfizer Corp HQ in Manhattan those years. Cool. Made up rubbish, real life, not true. Not true. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of expect that, don't you? With a lot of these programs on TV, they kind of glamorize it, and you know, way better people with far better morals than the Alaska Bush. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what would I call it? It's almost like trailer trash in Alaska, but without the trailers, possibly. More like log cabin trash. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit harsh. I could be completely wrong. Cool. I have a lot of flush now. You tell I'm getting older. Is it right that men should have hot flushes, or is it just a woman thing? I seem to have hot flushes all the time. It's a nightmare. But yeah, what are you all up to tomorrow? You all having a good weekend tomorrow? Are you off anywhere? Doing anything? Chilling out? Watching football? Having Sunday dinners? I'm kind of guessing Vanessa won't be having like a Sunday dinner like us in the UK. In my time with the USAF, sent out. I bet they are. Yeah, I bet they are. Excuse me, yawning. I would imagine not a lot goes on in them places. Are you in sort of like tents, or have they got sort of like, I don't know, tin cabins or something that you stop in while you're out there? I don't know. Always interesting to find out what other people have done in their life. And by the sounds of it, Vanessa, you've done quite a few things. And I find it quite interesting, to be honest. It's quite interesting. Just goes to show we all have very different lives, and you never know what somebody else does, do you? Minus 109 degrees Fahrenheit for a week. Jesus. Flipping hell. I was going to swear then, but I'm trying to be polite. Minus 109. Fucking hell. That's mental. Wow. Wow. That is bad, isn't it? That is bad. I'm kind of guessing that Vanessa here is the kind of woman that you don't mess with. I would imagine she's very hardened to things. Yeah. Yeah. I know sort of like diesel doesn't freeze, does it? I don't think, but obviously to a certain extent. But whatever you were using, minus 109, Christ, that is mental. Minus 109. Does it get any colder than that in Russia? I'm certain. Well, I say I'm certain. I think it does, but my God, that is unreal. That is unreal. If my treatment goes well, I'm planning on going there in January, February, because I want to go through the treatment, my illness. No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Why not? And, I know we all want good weather and what have you, but, and it will be, I would imagine it's going to be nice, pleasant weather. And, does it matter? Once you've had your treatment, just go away, have a break, enjoy yourself. Take your mind off everything. It's not all about the sun. It's not all about the sun. There's lots to do wherever you go. It's what you make of it and what you can do while you're out there. So don't worry too much about the weather. It's going to be half decent, so you'll be all right there. And then you just plan your holiday around that, don't you? Vanessa, we had over 40 people with extreme cold damage. I was the inspector doing all the interviews. Wow. May the chemo help you. No, well, that's it, isn't it? As long as you can have a decent life. with that treatment, there's nothing wrong with that. I suppose, it's all right me sitting here saying, oh, yeah, it's all right. You just have the treatment. You'll all be good. We can all sit and say that. But at the end of the day, you've got to make the most of what you got. And I can't comment on what you've got to go through or what others have had to go through with things. But you do. And I'd like to think I would have that kind of mentality that, you can either sit there and not have a life and, whatever, just sit there and be miserable, or you can make the most of what you got and enjoy it. And I hope you do, pal. I really do. I agree. I did find the report a couple of years ago by searching government files at a local. All right, okay. Right. Immunocompromised. So I'm going to guess, I'm kind of reading that, and I'm kind of thinking that things have changed since then. Was there anything dodgy there? I don't know. Was there more they could have done at the time, or not? Hey, it don't matter. Get it off your chest, mate. Get it off your chest. We all go through things in life, and if it helps you coming on here and getting it off your chest, why not? Why not? As long as you've got something to talk about, because at the end of the day, sometimes I struggle to talk about stuff while I'm on here. Immune system shot to heck. Wait, yeah. Like say, bloody hell, minus 109, I would imagine. And obviously, medicine must have come on so much since them days. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. I don't try and compete with anyone. I just come on and I just go live. Anyone that tries to compete with others, I just think, do what you like. Do what you like. If some people want to come on here and watch me, that's great. If 300 others don't, they want to watch Paul John Team, that's fine. But we're both two very different channels, really, I would say. We both get on and what have you. We're just two very different channels. I'm more laid back, I would say. I think Paul really tries to push his channel. And good luck to him. I've got no issues with that. Long-term illness for life. Okay. Yeah, see? We can listen. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, Yawn. Come on these lives. It don't matter. There's always someone out there to have a listen. We all need to vent sometimes. And even if you just vent on air, it don't matter. If it gets something off your chest, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll chat people so I can learn something too. You won't learn much from me, to be honest, apart from the fact that Baz drinks too much beer. That is about all you'll learn. But if I can attract a few other people onto the live, and they can probably give you better advice than me, use it. Use it to your advantage. I turned 64-year-old come December. How the heck did I exist? Fair dues, Vanessa. 10 years older than me. Well, 9.5, shall we say. 9.5. Communication is a good thing, silly. Yes, absolutely. If you've got anything to say, just say it. You're not going to upset anyone. Certainly not going to upset me, and I'd like to think you're not going to upset anyone else. All got to get it off our chest. This is your best way, you do it. Pompey Jim, both channels top class. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'd like to think so. Like I say, I don't push it as much maybe as Paul does. Seem to be pushing. I wouldn't say I'm pushing it now, really. Even though I've done quite a few lives lately, I wouldn't say I'm pushing it. I just think it's out of the fact that I'm just sitting at home, not got a lot going on. Obviously, with the other circumstances that's going on, life is very different. So it's a little bit sort of lonely and boring, if you like. But so I just try and fill it, really. Just try and fill it. Yawn, I am 49, but will be 50 on the 10th of January. So you are a few years younger than me. 4.5 years younger than me, would it be? Yeah. I think. Plenty of life left in you, mate. Plenty of life left in you. Don't you worry. Don't talk yourself. What, me? Me talk yourself down? No, well, I try. I don't talk myself down. I'm just how I am. I just, I am who I am, and that's it. I don't think I'm any kind of superstar. That's certainly for sure. I'm just some bloke who comes in and talks a load of rubbish. But if you're all happy to come on and join me and talk, I am happy. Vanessa, retired military, did a math and comp science degree, then a master's in math through the years. Wow. Now I don't know the other ones in the chat. There's 5 of us on. Obviously we've got Yawn, we got Pompey Jim, Vanessa is in. I'm not sure if I'm part of that one that's in the chat. I shouldn't be, I suppose. But Vanessa seems to be the intelligent career woman, if you like. She's a classy one in this chat. That's the only impression I'm getting. I'm not knocking anyone else, but that is the impression I'm getting. So I do apologise. Pompey Jim, you ever thought about putting out decorating? Yeah, I have done some. I did set up a decorating channel. I've done some decorating content on this channel, not for a long time. The job I'm on at the moment would have been ideal because it's been a proper graph kind of job. I've basically the front of 2 houses pebble dashed. They are. They hadn't been painted. I know the one place hasn't been painted for 30 years anyway, at least. So the paint was all perished. I'm not sure about the neighbour's house, but that was really bad. And I would say over the 2 houses, I have literally scraped and wire brushed 90%, if not more, of the paint off the walls back to bare cement and pebble dash. And then it was a case of doing a few repairs to the cement and that, sorting out some cracks and what have you. Putting some stabilizing solution on the walls to make sure the paint stuck because they were so dry and crusty. So obviously I'd wire brushed them all off, dusted them all down, put that on to get them to a stable condition that paint could go on them. And I've got to give them both 2 coats. Well, I actually put 1 coat on the biggest place today. I'm having a day off tomorrow, and then I'll be back there for a couple of days. If I work it right, a couple of days should see the front of the houses done, a couple of coats on them. But oh my God, what a job it is. Honestly, dusty and proper, just a really poo job, if I'm brutally honest, a really shitty job. But at the end of the day, I'm getting paid for it. You got to do what you got to do, haven't you, to earn money? And actually, I'm doing it for a mate, not really for a mate. I'm doing it through a mate who has some very good contacts. So I am hoping that I will pick up an awful lot more work through this guy as well. And obviously, the sort of time, I think it'll be about 8 days I've done for him, sort of like this week and a couple of days next week. Obviously, that spreads a bit more work out. So it's almost like another 2 weeks work I've had. So, and we all need that, don't we? But yeah, I did set up a decorating channel. brush strokes, I called it. And that was when I think I was actually going to give up YouTube. But I've never actually sort of like done anything on it or promoted it. I was looking at doing sort of like decorating tips, things about work, maybe reviewing brushes, maybe reviewing some paint, if you like. But I've never actually gone through with it. But yeah, it's been thought about. Let's put it that way. It's been thought about. Hey, you know what? It's like everyone says, oh, well, it shouldn't be happening to me. And, I suppose rightly so. Some things happen to certain people at certain ages and what have you. And it's easy for me to sit here and say, you are dealt with the card that you dealt with in life. And we all are, really. We're all dealt with, we're sort of dealt with life, aren't we? And whatever you get, you get. It could turn out yawn. It could turn out that, I don't know, next year I'm diagnosed with terminal cancer and I could be dead in, 12 months' time. I could be dead. Let's put it that way. It's not a nice thing to sort of talk about, but you just never know what's around the corner. And the fact that yours can be treated is a good thing. If you can live with it, hopefully you can lead a pretty solid life and not have too many problems. And if you get that to a certain extent, I suppose you should be kind of grateful. But I think at some point in our lives, we all get dealt shit cards and what have you, and life can be a little bit of a kick in the ass. But yeah. I plan on repairing my apartment here this winter. Bloody hell, repairing or repainting. Repainting. I was going to say, this woman has no bounds. She really has no bounds. She can do everything. She can live at 100 minus 109. She can do all this like doctory kind of stuff. She can paint the houses. She can repair the houses. She's a bloody legend. Changes text fast and I read the text. Yes, I know that feeling. Got to paint the back of my house. Been putting it off for years. Paint peeling off all over the place. Is it a smooth wall? Is it Pompey Jim? Let me know. I'm going to try and scroll down quite quick. Hang in there, Vanessa. We are building 2 workshops on property soon. So next spring here. I rent from my brother, 2-family household. Cool. Just turned in my driver's license. I go in 1980. Just be right. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolute definite. No doubt, Vanessa, you will have plenty of family running you around or whatever. But yeah, I would imagine it's, you lose that bit of freedom, don't you? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Again, I've been lucky, touch wood, never really to have any sort of illness. I'm generally quite fit-ish. And I don't tend to get too many illnesses, but things do happen. And I would imagine I'll probably be one of them that gets ill. And when I do, that'll be it. It'll be one of them. But yeah, take the treatment, get it over with, and start making the most of your life. Don't dwell on what could be. As long as you're still breathing, mate, there's still things to do. And that's the main thing. If you see me smile, you might notice the right side of... Oh, right, okay. Would I be right in thinking possibly you had a stroke then? Not that I ever see you smile. I'm never ever going to see you smile, I suppose. But Pompey Jim, yeah, smooth, really dry old render. Brought some Zinsser peel stop. Do you know what? Scrape it back. I'm not sure the Zinsser peel stop will do outside. I honestly couldn't tell you. but scrape it back to bare. Well, scrape it back to where it's loose. I personally would use the old stabilizing solution. If the Zinsser peel stop works, great. And yeah, just give it 2 good coats of masonry. If it's smooth, you shouldn't have to. If you buy decent paint, you'll get away with thinning it down so far. But yeah, that should sort it. But make sure you scrape it. You've got to put something on it, on that render, to sort of stop it being too dry and too absorbent. Pardon me. Brain stroke. Okay. Evening, Bazza. How are you, Brett? Hope you're well, mate. Hope life's treating you well. I think I've seen a couple of posts lately. You seem a bit happier and spending a bit of time with your daughter, which is good. So I hope you're good. My mate said SBR works to prime it. SBR? Update me on the SBR. I must patch and replace some doors to upgrade them, priming them, painting the surfaces after repaired. Yeah, definitely. Get them repaired, prime them. Maybe a couple of undercoats, depending what colour they go in, and then top coat. It's weird sitting here and not drinking a beer, but I have expected it. Well, I don't want to rub it in, Yawn, but yeah, I'm having a beer, so I do apologise, and you would know, but your time will come again. Your time will come again. And why would someone make walls over plumbing main access points? Why am I making a nice looking access panel for 3 critical areas? Yes. I'll tell you what, there's you can certainly go on some jobs, or I can, and you look and you think, what the hell have you done there? Why have you done that? Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that do silly stuff that doesn't necessarily make any sense. Have you had a brain stroke, Vanessa? That is what Yawn is asking Vanessa. Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, well, that should do it. I know, like, PVA was always the thing to use, wasn't it? And I know when anyone skims a wall, or I've done work at somebody's place who's sort of like sister-in-law or brother-in-law or whatever it was. Well, brother-in-law would be. He used like this grit. Don't know whether it's the same thing. Some kind of grit that sticks to the walls, and you skim over it. But it's like it's almost like sand in PVA, and it just bonds it better. I had mini strokes. My white matter due to meds back in. All right, okay. See, Yawn, it's not stopping Vanessa. Don't let it stop you. Enjoy yourself and enjoy it. Thank you, pal. Are you off now, mate? Dear, don't sound good. Doesn't sound good. Fair dues. A lot of respect for anyone that's going through stuff like that and what have you. Awesome seeing you live twice in a row. Yes. Awesome. Or just a bit mental. I don't know. But if you enjoy it, I'm happy. If you enjoy watching, I'm happy. It's great to have people watching. Yeah, that grit stuff is similar. There we go. That's it. Yeah. Hellish messy as well, that grit stuff. Proper messy. I actually ended up putting the grit on. Like I said, I went to do this chap's sister's or sister-in-law's house, sort of saying, oh, I'm a bit busy. He said, I'll get some of this grit stuff. Can you put it on? never used it, so I didn't exactly know how much you should put on this, that, and the other. So he just bought this one tub. He said that should be plenty. So you're always a little bit, to start off with, you're always a little bit nervous about how much to use and what have you. I mean, hopefully the plaster won't fall off. He's plastering it. I've painted it since, but I'll soon find out, I suppose. You know, if they ring me up in about 12 months, I must have done something wrong. Right, where were we? We are back to Brett. Beardy Beer Reviews. Go and check out his channel if you haven't watched him already. Go and give him a sub. Go and give him a watch. Currently on a Vault City Stupid. White chocolate and raspberry vanilla sour. Is it any good? Or is it a little bit over heavy on the old sort of sweetness? I've heard that Tenerife have become expensive. So how much is it for food and wine or beer, whatever? Well, I couldn't tell you that. Hopefully some people in the comments can. Like I said, Christ, I was 18 when I went to Tenerife, 18 and 19. I'm now 54. So it's been an awful long time since I've been there. So I couldn't tell you how much. I wouldn't imagine Tenerife is the cheapest because it's one of them kind of places. I see, Vanessa. Wow. Yeah, I've been through the mill. Fair dues. I count my blessings. When I, you know, the likes of you and Vanessa that have had a lot of issues, I count my blessings. You know, like I said, my time may well come, but at the moment, touch wood, I've been very lucky. I might change a couple of doors here to. Right, okay. Paulaner Oktoberfest. Yeah, I think I like the standard Paulaner rather than the Oktoberfest. I would say that Paulaner is one of the weaker sort of big six of the German beers myself. Like an innocent smoothie. It's a thick one, yeah. I had what was it? Asvex. I'm not sure if that one's an Asvex, is it? No. I'm trying to think what it was now. Can't think. But I had an Asvex one, and it was just mental. It told me to shake the can. But then, obviously, if you've never had one before, how far do you go on shaking the can? You know it's not going to be massively gassy, but how far do you go on shaking it? And I swear when I was pouring it, it was coming out in lumps. That video is coming up at some point. You're only saying sorry, man, blood clots. I kind of got that impression. My living costs. Yeah. I think everyone's living costs have just gone mental. None yet in me. Well, that's good. That's good. Spain in the 80s used to be cheap, but now it's not that cheap in Spain. Sunny Beach, Bulgaria was less expensive. Yeah, but even Bulgaria's gone up, though, I would say, in the last sort of 18 months. But that said, I would imagine the quality in Bulgaria has also gone up. I would imagine when I was looking at holidays there, they would have been proper rough and ready and not really ready for people, if you know what I mean. Brett from Beardy Beer Reviews. I ordered some crazy imperial stouts and sours from Elms 11. Never heard of them. They're crazy as Omnipollo guys. Where are they from, mate? Are they Omnipollo Sweden, aren't they? I think Sweden or Norway. Are they from that sort of area? I'm not sure. Cigs on base in the 80s with just government costs with no taxes. Super cheap. They're bloody. What does a average pack of fags cost in America now, Vanessa? If you know, I think over here sort of like average is about 14 quid, 13, 14 quid. I think the cheapest, well, you could even say 15. I think the cheapest are nigh on 13 quid, so probably average would be about 15 quid. Not that I smoke, but. Is Donald Trump making America great again, Vanessa? Let's not get too much into politics, but will be interesting to see what Vanessa has to say about that. Sweden. Okay. Laws changed in 1999. Right. Okay. Excuse me. Here in Connecticut, one pack is $14. That's still sort of cheaper than what? Yeah, I suppose. If is that a pack of 20? Is it? $14 would work out what? 11 quid, possibly. So possibly a bit cheaper. On base use, usually just 15% cheaper. Yeah, 14 or 15 my vape's going up to. And they're like 600 puffs. Yeah. Trump making something. What's he making though? Medical costs are skyrocketing this fall. Yeah, see, we're very different to the US, aren't we? Because we have the NHS, whereas you sort of pay for your own medical care, don't you, in America? How does that help anyone but billionaires? I think, like any country, I think everyone just gets stung, don't they? Everyone gets stung. We pay massive taxes. We get, money goes towards the NHS and you can't get in there and this, that, and the other. And there's waiting lists and everything. I mean, I suppose I'm lucky, really, that it's rare that I'm really ill. It's very rare that I'm really ill. So I do kind of avoid that. But nonetheless, my ex, or if you like, yeah, let's call her my ex. She is my ex. I know, she's had a lot of health issues, and her trying to get an appointment is just mental. But you hear it from anyone else, don't you? Trying to get an appointment is nuts. Donald Trump really think he knows what he talks about, and there is a main problem. He does believe his own hype. I've got to admit, there's a couple of things I do like about Donald Trump. I know a lot of people go, bloody hell, why? But there's a few things I do like about him. But I would say he's a bit of a loose cannon. The one thing is, he's a businessman. I'd like to think he would possibly do what's best for the US. If I had no insurances, then my current cost of prescriptions would come to $10,000+ a month for years. Jesus Christ. Some years it was way worse than that. Jesus Christ. That is proper scary. Simple math learning, yet many politicians seem to be lacking in that department. Well, a lot of politicians live in a different world, don't they? Oh, well, you can live off that. Well, actually, no, we can't. Have you tried living off that amount of money? No, you haven't. That's why you don't know how to, yeah, they don't have a clue, do they, sometimes? Almost all our tax goes on paying interest to the national debt, which is unpayable. Yeah. Yeah, we got massive debts. I think in this country, in the UK, I don't want to go into too much or start sort of like criticizing people, but we pay so much money out in the UK to all sorts of things, and not just foreigners. We have a lot of, we're paying so much out to people that are just, let's face it, work dodgers and what have you. And although you might say, well, that's a minimal thing, but it's been going on for years, and it's just always a constant debt in the UK. A lot of people out there work hard, earn money, and I feel like half the time they're just paying for other people to sit on the backside. I had a drug that was experimented. Escorted by 2S, bloody hell. Let me go back to... what you drinking then, Bazza? Well, I'm just at the end of a pint. I will disappear in a second and have a top up, but I'm actually Excuse the Tennent's glass, but I'm on Fruit Kolsch. Fruit Kolsch out the perfect draft. So on that note, I'm going to disappear for 30 seconds, go and get myself a pint, and I'll come back and I'll catch up with all the comments. Back in a ticky too. Right, Bazza is back. So there we go, Beardy Beer reviews. Brett, there we go. A fresh pint of Fruit Kolsch. There we go, in a glass. Very nice it is too. So, let's catch up on the comments. Where were we? Why does that not go up? That's very weird. Right. I do a lot of chatting to myself on here. Vanessa, 7 days, 2 doses a day, $2,700 for each 200. Jesus Christ. That is mental. That is the government price before it ever hit the commercial market. It saved your life. And I suppose when you think about it like that, is there a price on your life? But wow, I mean, that is an extortionate amount of money. Great convos today. I appreciate it. Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, nice. Never had that beer. They actually do it, I think, in Tesco's or Morrison's. Get it in bottle. It's from what I recall, it's very different from bottle. Very easy drinking beer. For me, it's very much a lager sort of thing, but it uses ale yeast. I think it's top fermented and cold conditioned or something like that. Kind of like a hybrid beer. Don't quote me on that. Please go on to Google to find out exactly. But if I'm right, feel free to sort of comment and say, well done, Baz, you're right. Vladimir Putin and Trump are actually part-time lovers. Apparently, they were seen at a Coldplay concert. So I believe. That's a joke, by the way. But we could always use that one, couldn't we? Why is that? Right. Pompey Jim, I gave the fruit a miss. I thought they were taking the piss bit on charging £40 with no deals. Well, £38.90, yeah, more or less. Even if they chucked in a glass deal, I might have bought it. I get that, to be honest. I do get that. But at the same time, a lot of the kegs on PD these days are around that £38, £39 mark. And nobody wants to pay that, obviously. I bet you any money, I bet in about a week, they will probably do a glass deal. I was a bit gutted they didn't do a glass deal because, you know, I love me glasses. Oh, look at that. I bet it's ice cold. This stupid was room temp. If it was... yeah, it's nice and cold. It's 3 degrees, this is. So, but it's nice, refreshing. Bernie Sanders was a man who could save America back in 2016. I don't know about that. I'll just have to take your word for it. Too many freeloaders taking benefits and not enough contribution. That, yeah, exactly, is what it is when you're paying 40%. It is a piss take. Yeah, that's how I feel. And it's not just, I know in this country we go on about foreigners coming in. Obviously, they don't help the system, but we have enough of our own people taking the piss, claiming for everything that maybe they shouldn't be claiming for. Obviously, it can't comment. We don't know their own story, but yeah, I know there's a lot of people that claim for this, that, and the other, and haven't paid into the system since they left school, and probably never will. So if you haven't got enough, if you've got say 10 million people paying into the system, and you've got 15 million people taking out, it doesn't take a genius to work out that it's not balanced, is it? Let's be honest. Steamy hot air making baked potatoes. Ooh, baked potato. I love jacket potatoes. And hamburgers on the grill shortly for 6 people this evening. Make that 7, Vanessa. I'll be there in about 16 hours. They are something silly, yeah. But Americans have done Trump, and I feel with all Americans who can't afford to pay their bills and such, yeah. I tend to only buy kegs when it's 2 for 60 quid stuff these days. Yeah, I mean, I've got to admit, I do. I tend to buy on offers, but I've got to admit, I've done the Trooper thing because they done like the bar runner and that, and I just thought, sorry. And I think I had quite a few beer tokens built up, and even with the Fruit Kolsch, I'd literally just returned 4 kegs. I think I had £24 on my account when I seen them. So the 2 kegs coming at 56 quid. So I didn't mind too much on that. But yeah, they also seem to be putting an awful lot of offers on now on Perfect Draft. I've noticed they they'll be tight on some things, and then other things they almost can't give it away. And I think that's because people aren't buying it. That's it. I am in that system for valid reasons. No, that's fair enough. Honestly, there's people that are valid and have good reasons, but there are some, and I see lots of them. I suppose, like I said, you never know what someone's going through or what reason, but I certainly know of some that are just, taking out the system constantly. There's always going to be people that take out the system. Special needs daughter, if you like, but even she will go to work and do voluntary work. Always try to push her to do voluntary work to try and give her a bit of a work ethic. So why the fuck did people vote for this line for? I don't get it. Well, there's obviously lots out there that like him, and that's it. Hey, again, that's something you can't do too much about, isn't it? At the end of the day, you kind of got to battle on through it. Yeah, Beardy's good. Beardy tends to message, or he kind of reaches out in his own way, and I think everyone kind of reaches out in their own way. You know what I mean? I've had a few little issues lately, and yeah, I tend to vent on Facebook and probably put things up that I maybe shouldn't do, but that's my way of venting or getting things off my chest. You ever seen prices in 19 euros? Yeah, true. Yeah, but remember, it's in Germany. It's brewed in Germany. No doubt, I guess that there will be a €5 charge on top of that 19 euros. There's no import charge, obviously, because it'll all be there. So understandably, you kind of expect it to be cheaper. Beer is way cheaper in Germany, yeah. Yeah. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, I suppose to a certain extent, if you imported Carl into Germany, that would be more expensive. And there's no way you would buy, say, a can of Carling for £3 when you could have something like Lowenbrau in a big 500ml bottle for €2 or €1.50. You wouldn't do it, would you? Unfortunately, that's, as much as we complain, there is you know, you have to take some of it on the chin and just expect it. Yeah, hey, you'll get through it, mate. You'll get through it. There's always someone out there to talk to. Always someone out there to talk to. You know enough people on YouTube. And if it makes you feel any better, I pretty much drink every day anyway. It's not really the answer, is it? Obviously, that is not the answer. But I'm just trying to put a little bit of a light side onto it. Yeah. Hey, do you know what I would say is, whatever kicks, you know, stay strong, work your way through it. Whatever tries to kick you down, just get back up and keep fighting. Whatever knocks you down, it'll make you stronger. Really will. Might not look like it now, but it will do. You're probably stronger than you think, Brett. You're probably stronger than you think, mate. But I understand at times, yeah, things can get on top of you, and you just need that moment to fucking vent and get it off your chest. Carlins is like toilet duck in Germany. And yeah, I probably would not argue with that. Toilet duck probably is nicer than Carlin. So I've gone for all these comments, done a lot of talking, as I do. 1 hour 21 in, 6 people watching. I'm going to drink this probably, I think. Drink this and probably love and leave you. So I can have a bit of a chill. Hey, mate, honestly, it'll work out. I you know, trust me, I know. I've come, like, recently split up with my wife. I'm still living in the same house at the moment. A little bit of tension here and there. One day can be great where you're getting on or being sociable. Other days, the last couple of days, there's been a bit of tension there. It's not easy. It's not easy, and trust me, I've not, you know, we haven't split up because we hate each other. Most of it is down to me because I've decided that we're at this kind of moment in our relationship. And I think it's best for the pair of us that if we do go our separate ways, that doesn't mean I don't love her anymore. It doesn't mean I don't want to be with her. That doesn't mean, you know, she's not upset. That doesn't mean she's not angry. So yeah, you know, that's really hard when you're sort of splitting up with someone because you're too stubborn or this, that, and the other. That's my side of it. I'm very stubborn. And that makes it harder for me. And obviously she's clearly upset as well. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. But you've got to stay in there. I mean, I suppose the advantage I've got, whereas what you maybe haven't, is I'm busy at work and I can kind of switch off to a certain extent because I'm getting up in the morning, I'm going straight out to work and what have you. You maybe don't have that luxury, but it'll work out, mate. It'll work out. Things always do. Things always work out. Might be a different route you don't want, but it'll work out. Little support and compassion don't cost a thing, no. Ian Roberts, good evening, Baz from Smoky Jerk. Smoky Jerk. How are you, Ian? You've left Mr. Tame for a little bit, have you? Yeah. Well, that's it, mate. You know, this would be the second one. This would be the second marriage. So it depends on how you want to look at it. You could say, oh, hang on, there's a bit of a routine here. You know, you've been in 2 marriages and they've both gone downhill, and the common denominator is you. It could be you. You know, and it could be. That could be it. But, you know, it's not easy, but you have got to get on with it. Oh, you okay? Yeah, not bad, pal. Not bad. I don't know how much you've heard, but yeah, things could be better, but you've got to crack on, haven't you, and get on with life. Boris Johnson's favourite song, that is. You got to fight for your right to party, yeah. He fought for his... Well, he didn't have to fight for his right, did he? He was Prime Minister. He could do what he liked. I talk like a born leader, Matt. I know about talking like a born leader. I talk a full of shit. But, yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? You know, life does go on. As much as you might want to feel you're kicked in the teeth, life goes on. And you've got to go on with it, and And as I said, life gets better, doesn't it? Hard at times, but you've got to try and get through it. Have you tried Oregon Trail from Elusive? Yes, I have. And actually, I went to the GBBF in Birmingham the other week and tried the double black Oregon Trail. So it's a black double IPA, which is really good. 8%. Wasn't cheap, but you know. Oh, I pretty much put all my weekend on the credit card that weekend. So I'll just pay so much back a week. Hence the reason why I have to stay busy as well. Stop putting yourself down like the bazzer. You know me. You know me. That's how I am. Everything happens for a reason. And if it seems... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, I'd like to think, certainly with me in the latest one, that I'd like to think I'm doing it for the right reasons, more for it being better in the future for both of us rather than a quick fix. Hopefully we can stay friends in it. That's what I'm hoping anyway, but we shall see. We shall see. After this stupid... Oh, yes, the double black IPA version. Sorry, I missed that comment. After that stupid, yeah. Mark Jones, hi Baz, hope you're okay, mate. Onwards and upwards. But the worst has happened, and you've got us all. Hey, thank you, much appreciated, mate. Honestly, I'm quite good. Obviously, I have me moments, but yeah, work and everything else. At the moment, not exactly sure what's happening on the house front. We don't own the house, but there's a few little things going on. But initially, it was going to be me moving out, so obviously I had all the stress of like trying to find somewhere and the cost of something. But don't know what's happening at the moment, so that could still end up being the same thing, but it might not be what it is. But we'll have to see. But, you know, you can sit and stress about it all you like. But you've got to get on with it. But like I say, hopefully, me and her will stay friends and hopefully sort of like be able to go out and have a bite to eat and what have you. But we'll see. We'll see. Silly yawn. I drink sparkling water with apple flavour. Cheers, everybody. Peace on earth, love. Is it Christmas? Touche yawn. Excellent. Yeah. Chill out. Don't worry too much about too much. Even though you're a Sheffield United fan, Leeds, yeah, you can go away, Mark. Go away again. Yeah, I don't need you rubbing it in. It's bad enough that Leeds went up. And we had chances to go up ourselves. Oh, God, I'm yawning now. And then we've had the start that we've had so far this year. Not a great start for Sheffield United, it's got to be said. So it's a little bit painful. A little bit painful at the moment, but I'm confident we'll turn it round. Well, I've got that supporters' confidence, haven't I? I would say it's more hope than actual confidence, but we got good players there. Hopefully things will just start clicking. So, more comments. What you done the first two games? Oh, what league games, or you're on about the first league game and the cup game? Bristol City. I didn't actually watch it. I was in the pub at the time, as it happened, shock horror. And I was like watching the stats, that pin thing you can do on Google, and I was watching the stats, and if you look at the stats, you think, how the hell did we lose that game? We had like 20 shots, we had 6 or 7 on target, we had about 12 corners, we had 76% possession. And you're like, how the hell did we lose that 4-1? How the hell did we lose it 4-1? And then we played Birmingham, and pretty much, I mean, we lost 2-1. We lost 2-1 to Birmingham in the cup. But the stats were pretty much the other way around. So Birmingham had all them chances and stats. And seriously, I started watching it from 27 minutes. We were 1-0 down, and we could have been 3-4-0 down at half time. So it's really mental. It's really mental. And today, I never got to watch it. The old TV was playing up, shall we say. So all I got to see really was, well, I think I just watched Sky News, I think, where they were doing sort of like, you got the old people in the studio, and they pop over to them. So, but I kind of got the impression from the stats we weren't very good. So I don't know. It's all gone tits up, isn't it? I'm not going to cook for a month now. You're not going to cook for a month. Why? Have you got a season ticket? No, I'm afraid to say I don't, mate. I mean, I suppose you'd all like to call me an armchair supporter, but I do support them. I do watch them as much as I can on TV. I do buy the T-shirt, but I am hoping Boxing Day. I live in Oswestry, which is about 14 miles from Wrexham. And Boxing Day, Sheffield United are at Wrexham. So I am hoping to get tickets for that. I'd love to go to Wrexham, support Sheffield United. Obviously not in the Wrexham stand, in the Sheffield United end. But yeah, I am hoping to get there then. At my job, you meant? Okay. Just look at it as a bit of a break. You still cook at home, couldn't you? You can treat yourself to nice meals at home, can't you? And you won't have any pressure either. It's not like you'll be cooking in a restaurant and having to be under pressure. You can take your time, relax, give it all the love your food needs, can't you? Right. Forgot you don't. No, I don't. If I did, I probably would have a season ticket, or certainly go to more games. I have seen them. Went to Shrewsbury, which is about 20 miles from me. I watched them against Shrewsbury in a cup game. I went to Old Trafford with a bunch of Man United fans sitting in the Man United end. Going back a few years, we lost 2-0 to them. Went to see him somewhere else as well, I think. So I think I've actually seen them 3 times live, actually at the game. But I honestly, if I can sit and watch them, I will sit and watch every game if I can. And I'll sit there and I'll be effing and blinding at the TV and ranting and raving and posting on Facebook how angry I am, as you do. But yeah, big fan of them. Been supporting them since about 1991, I think it is. I'm a Norwegian chef, but I love Swedish roots on my mother's side. You certainly got different food, haven't you? The Scandinavians certainly have different food. Not sure I could eat a lot of it, or it'd be my thing, but I mostly order food. I don't blame you. I've tried ordering food, and that never seems to work for me. If you know what I mean. Mark Jones, just been sat in the garden, had to come back in. It's freezing. Don't know what it's like there. Are you in Leeds, are you, Mark? It's not too bad here, actually. Let me have a nosy. Obviously, it's dark. It's a little bit cooler now. Sky's quite clear, though. I wouldn't say it's particularly great. It's just dark. I think tomorrow it's actually given a bit of a scorcher here. I think it's about 25, 26 degrees and just full sunshine. So I shall make the most of that and try and do stuff. Mark's in Leeds. Mark's in Leeds. Yeah, it's not too bad here, mate. Not too bad here. So we've got 6 people watching. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be, but I'm going to finish that and I will call it a day on the live. Probably another 10 minutes and I'll probably be heading off and leaving you all. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Yeah, especially around Christmas, Swedish people are very different Christmas. All right, okay. But I would imagine like Swedish, even, well, certainly to the UK, I would imagine. What do you have for Christmas dinner then? I just watched some programs and like, Swedish food, Norwegian food is very different to what we have in the UK, or it feels like it is. Pompey Jim, prefer watching football on TV with a beer these days, even though I live a stone's throw away from the ground. Yeah, to be honest, you get such good coverage on the TV these days, don't you? That, you don't get all the argy-bargy. I know you get the atmosphere and that, but I got to admit, I prefer watching it indoors as well. Certainly for the 90% of it. I would like to go to a few games and what have you, but I enjoy sitting down, putting my feet up, having a beer, get some snacks out, and just enjoy the afternoon. And it's a lot cheaper as well, isn't it? I will go to the next chat though. Got vegan Swedish meatballs in the freezer. Having a vegan diet as of late. All right. I do like Swedish meatballs. They are nice. I mean, we've all done the old IKEA thing. Surely most of us here have probably gone to IKEA and done the 12 meatballs, mash and peas and gravy and that. Lush. People in Finland and Denmark have their own Christmas. All right, okay. Yeah, I suppose you're all separate countries, aren't you? But I suppose as an outsider looking in, you kind of think that everyone's more or less going to be the same, don't you? England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland is probably 90% the same, I would imagine. But there's always different things that go on. But I'm intrigued to see what other people have at Christmas and what have you. It's always interesting. I've not done that though. I'm jealous. Oh, they're really lush, mate, honestly. But don't worry. You can pretty much, you can buy like Swedish meatballs anyway, can't you, from a lot of the supermarkets now. And you can actually get sort of like Swedish meatball gravy from Aldi, or they were doing it at one point. So a bit of mashed potato, a few peas, get some meatballs. If you can get that gravy, you could probably even find the recipe somewhere online, couldn't you? I bet there isn't an awful lot of difference in the gravy. There'll be something that they just put in that's slightly different. Have a go at making your own, pal. Because to be honest, I bet it'd be cheaper actually to make your own meatballs and your own gravy than actually buying it. Yeah, prefer to watch footy live at home rather than the pub. You see more, yeah. And to be honest, if I'm at home watching it on my own, I can F and blind, I can rant and rave, I can get proper naggy. Whereas if you're in a pub, you look a bit of a so-and-so, don't you? Especially if you're the only Sheffield United fan in a pub and you're shouting and giving the TV shit, and you because your team's losing. Need to go to Southampton. Right, yeah. Well, you could meet up with bloody. You can't meet up with JB. You won't be there, but you could meet up with. Well, no, you can't even meet up with Scott Portsmouth. So it's not exactly down the road, but I'm sure there's someone around Southampton that you can meet up with on YouTube. But beer is universal. Yes, it is. Well, it is universal to a certain extent. Everyone likes beer, but not all beer is good, is it? Silly, have you had Surströmming? I would like to try that. Well, I wouldn't, but I think it's something I do want to try and do. I reckon he must have had that. I'm pretty certain he must have had that. You don't want to go to Southampton, Beardy. Absolute shithole. That's coming from a Portsmouth fan. So don't necessarily take that as gospel. It might not be a complete shithole, but it may well be a shithole. Just turn that light down. I'll look a little bit bright. That's it. That's better. I would want to meet Scott. He goes to Southampton sometimes, dancing man. Need to go his ways. I need to try some Mackie and staggeringly good. Yeah. I've had a couple of Mackie beers. Staggeringly good. Very decent as well. He'll show you the sights if you say you're going there. Compared to the pub culture in England, Scotland and Ireland, compared to the pub culture in Norway, shit. Well, yeah, but that said, how many people actually like the British pub culture? Really deep down. I've been to Germany a couple of times. Excuse me. And I actually think the German pub culture is much better. You don't get all the youngsters out. They don't drink just to get pissed, in my opinion. You know, whereas if you go out in the UK, people are just chucking pints down their neck. Oh, we've got to get really pissed. We've got to make complete tits of ourselves. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. I've done all that in the past. But I prefer the German culture from the couple of times that I've been to Germany. The beer drinking is just laid back. And they start about 11 o'clock. Certainly when I went to Dusseldorf, there was bars all set up and along the river, and it was absolutely chocker at 11 o'clock in the morning. But everyone, there wasn't the village idiots, if you like. It was like proper adults drinking, enjoying the social side of drinking rather than just getting pissed. So, you know, you're not necessarily missing anything there. You're no, I've not tried it, Mark. Oh, you surprised me. It must be bad. I'm from Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth, Boscombe is a shithole. Funny enough, that is where their ground is. Bournemouth, good team. It's great to see them doing well and holding their own in that thing. Got down here recently, I heard, used to be lovely. I agree, Germany is good too, yeah. I love the German beer culture and people who drink it. Yeah, it's going down so bad, really bad. Just shame. I always got the impression Bournemouth was full of wheelchairs and old people. Right, mate. Take care, bud. I'll catch you on your next one. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for joining me. Good luck. Am I correct in thinking you play tomorrow? Try and think who you got. I could be wrong. But all the best for the season. Don't have too good a season, because that means all my other mates from around here that are Leeds fans will just give me shit. I will probably end up calling it a day now. So I will sync this. I've been live for an hour and 3/4. I'll quickly catch up on these last few comments. Oktoberfest, never been there. No, neither have I. That is a bucket list thing for me. But I think you need lots of money to go to Oktoberfest. If you go to Munich, Oktoberfest time, I mean, it's one of them you're just going to get like, well, ripped off, or just, you know, the price is just silly. Oh, we have that too, mate. In my hometown, Christchurch, you can't move with the elderly. Hey, they got to live somewhere, pal. They got to live somewhere. And Monday, Everton at home. That'd be interesting, because my ex's team is Everton. So who do I want to win, Leeds or Everton? It's a tough one. Haaland from Norway, play for Man City. Yeah, Haaland, great player. Scored lots of goals for City as well when he first came over here. Not scoring so many. Pompey Jim, great stream. Cheers. Right. I am going to call it a day now. Thank you all who have joined me and interacted in the chats. God knows when I'll be on again. Who knows? I seem to be doing quite a few lives recently, but I will love and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Look after yourself, especially you, Brett, and Yawn. Let's knock that back. And I will see you all again on another live stream and no doubt another beer review very soon. So thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.